the mighty die. Warmachine board, battle report. Cygnar versus Retribution.
Hello. We just finished another game.
Yeah.
Cygnar versus Retribution. I took Maddox, and you took
Helynna.
Helynna, yeah. So it's the newcasters, but a full-size game, 75 points. And you won the roll-off, and you decided to go first.
Yeah.
So what was your list?
As you can see, I decided to use a lot of jacks. From left to right, there are a let's see if I get the names right. The one, the Archnode is a Chimera, I believe. Next to it is the Aspis with the bows, with the fists, and also meant to protect the Warcaster from damage because he can take the damage shield guard. That's what the thing is called. Next to him is the Griffin with Pathfinder and a shield and a halberd. He's quite nice and very fast. And then there are two Manticores. One is running and one not. And the Phoenix is there. And, sorry.
Yep.
Then there are three Arcanists. One Arcanist looks suspiciously like a soulless escort, but he's in truth an Arcanist as well. And Helynna, obviously. And then there are, say, a full unit of Houseguard Halberdiers with a command attachment. And right next to them are supposed to be two heavy rifle teams and Iris 2.
Cool. And so having a nice big battle group is something that Helynna likes.
Exactly, because she, her feat lets her repair the force field damage of all of her jacks in her battle group and lets them ignore crippled systems for one turn. And yeah, and also gives everyone in her control area +3 armor.
Yeah.
So,
it's like
the more jacks you have,
for jacks, it's like a double whammy feat because
exactly.
She repairs the damage that has been done, and also gives them more. It makes them take less damage in the following turn.
Yeah, but the difficult thing is to time it right.
Yeah. So I took Maddox, and it's the same list that I played in the last game that we posted. So we got Maddox. She's got the Squire. In her battle group, she's got 2 Stormclads. And I also took a German Warcaster because of Arcane Shield. And the 8-point Firefly is also there because of all the stormy lightning I've got in this list. So it's a good partner for the Journeyman Warcaster. Then up front we got the full unit of Storm Blades with 2 weapon attachments, just because it didn't fit. 3 weapon attachments didn't fit in the points. And also the CA, the command attachment. And then behind them they've got a Stormblade Captain. He's there for making it easier to move my guys around each other because I've got a full unit of Storm Lancers and they tend to jam each other up in narrow gaps. And then because of the Storm Lancers, I've got Lattimore there as well. And this may be the last time I play this list in the form it's in at the moment. I'm going to split the Storm Lancers up into 2 groups of 3 and drop the Stormblade Captain because I don't feel like he's pulling. Because if the Storm Lancers are in 2 groups, then they're not going to be stumbling over each other as much.
Right.
Yeah. So, as we said, you decided to go first, and so I decided to take the board edge with the forests on. The reason I did that is because I didn't want to funnel through between the 2 buildings.
Yeah,
I wanted you to funnel through between the 2 buildings. So.
Exactly, I would have chosen the side you chose.
Yeah, and also Maddox has got her Pathfinder spell, and that's great because these forests won't give me too much of a problem. So you set up. What was your plan for setting up?
My plan was basically to fit all my guys through there somehow. So that was basically the plan. I put the 2 heavy rifle teams to the right because I knew they could, go between the well and the building and try to shoot something, and the rest would somehow fit through the large gap. That was my main plan. And since I saw on the last bat rep that your riders there, your knights, would get buffed by your spells, I decided to put Iris there to shoot them and negate any buff spells on them.
Yeah,
that was
good. So there's your first turn.
Yeah, I
that's
walked
pretty much what you've already explained.
Yeah, exactly. I walked up as far as I could, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
In the first turn.
Yeah. So you said when we played, you said your jacks some of them are actually faster than your infantry. So
yeah.
Because the halberdiers are there for jamming and
normally
charges.
Yeah, normally it would be good to have the halberdiers in the front line and have the jacks behind them. But since the jacks are faster because of the spell, which name I forgot, where they can move 3 inches after the turn is done.
That's really good. It's like a reposition that you can use after running.
Exactly, yeah.
It makes it very fast.
Yeah. And because of that, yeah.
Yeah. And you can see my deployment here, so which I should have mentioned before we went into your turn. But so I deployed the Storm Lancers on the right because I felt like they had enough speed to move diagonally into the centre without being blocked by those 2 walls. And I also, having seen the setup of your halberdiers, I wanted the Lancers to deal with those, so I knew that your halberdiers would be coming up on that side. And then I really wanted the jacks to be generally in the centre. They're slightly to the left of the objective because they won't fit in the gap between the objective and the forest on the right. So they're set up just to run straight through slightly on the left of the objective. And then there wasn't enough room in the centre anymore for the Stormblades, so they're on the left. And a couple of other models in the middle, just because otherwise they'd have been too far out on the flanks. So my first turn, if I had run my full distance towards your army, then I would have just eaten charge from every model in your second turn. So you deliberately were too far away to allow me to shoot after checking all the threat ranges. And so I did the same to you. I deliberately went too far away for you to charge me.
Yeah.
So so there's a pretty obvious semicircle that's about 11 inches away from all of your guys, just over 11 inches away from all of your guys. The Storm Lancers were able to move really fast, 16-inch run, which is amazing. So I just set them up so that they wouldn't get blocked by anything for their charge. And then everything else, I actually moved the Stormblades up deliberately next to the forest because I knew I could give them Pathfinder if I needed to. What I forgot was that you also need line of sight if you want to if you want to charge. So regardless, I still would have been able to move through the forest quicker, but only if I was charging something that I could see.
Right.
But it was a choice of that or park them behind the Stormclads, and I don't think they would have been anywhere. It would have been as effective. So they just end up on the left. As you can see, I've got what's it called? Something Resolve, the spell that gives them +3 armor and tough. Dauntless Resolve on the Stormblades. I've got a Sail up on the left-hand Stormclad, Onslaught up on Maddox, and the Journeyman Warcaster put Arcane Shield up on the Storm Lancers. And that's it for that turn. So just sort of cowering out just outside of your charge range. So your turn 2. Yeah,
no one was killed yet, and so I decided to come up a little bit. Let's see, what did I do? Right, what the best thing I actually did was moving up a little bit with the Phoenix and shooting your Squire with a Halo cannon. That's where you can see all the things are burning there with the blue little flaming icons. That's what he did, and then because of my movement spell, I really need to check the name of that. He was allowed to move 3 inches back again, so he was hopefully out of charge range. As we will see soon, he was not out of charge range. But anyway, the same thing. The same thing did the Griffin to the left.
Yes,
he moved through the forest.
Pathfinder.
Yeah, exactly. He has Pathfinder as well. Yeah, I should.
So there's line of sight issue also affects him. Yeah,
but he just moved up, killed one of your Stormblades, and moved 3 inches back again.
Yeah, it's quite good, really.
Yeah, it really was.
Especially with forests.
Yeah. Then there are 2 wall templates, one red, one white, from my Manticores to stop you from moving through them. And I also put the House Guard Halberdiers there in a line to stop your Riders, your Storm Lances.
Yes.
If I had paid attention to the last bad rep, I might have spaced them out like Leon did with his Nis Hunters, but I didn't.
So we'll come to that on my turn. But you also used Iris.
Oh right, I forgot. Yeah, Iris was awesome. She crept up behind the hut to the right and shot one of your Storm Lances. Yep.
She
Just like that.
took an arcane shield off.
Oh, and that as well, of course.
And weakened one of the. She killed him outright.
Yeah, she killed one. I tried to kill Lattimore with my heavy rifle teams, but they only managed to get her down to, I don't know, 3.
I think she had two boxes left on the horse.
Or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty nasty, and that did affect what I did with her on the following turn as well.
Yeah.
So that put your halberdiers within charge range of the storm lancers.
Yeah.
And as you said, you thought your one of your manticores and the Phoenix were out of charge range of the Stormclad. So on my turn, I had a lot of good charges. So the Storm Lancers charged through your wall template, through your what's it called, covering fire.
Yeah.
I got Arcane Shield back up on them with the Genuine Warcaster.
So nothing happened.
Yeah, that protected them quite nicely. But Lattimore isn't in that unit, so I didn't charge her through the template because it could have knocked her off her horse. So all I did is ran her up behind the house on the right, and you can see her just sitting there.
Yeah.
And she's actually in base contact with Iris, so that was a good way of trapping Iris and stopping her from causing me problems elsewhere. Then the thing I was most pleased with in this game was doing a hot swap of a sail on the Stormclads. So one of them had a sail up, which I'd upkept from the previous turn. He was able to charge with an extra 2 inches and free, which frees up another focus for buying an attack. And I took down the Phoenix, and then I was then able to put up a sail, swap it over onto the other Stormclad, and do the same thing to one of the Manticores. So that was 2 heavies taking down 2 heavies, and I think that combined with completely destroying the halberdiers with the Storm Lancers pretty much was the key factor in the game.
At least psychologically speaking.
Yeah, so when you see all of that being removed from the table, then it's hard to get past that psychologically. So the Storm Lancers did a great job of taking away the halberdiers. The Firefly and the Stormblade Captain helped a little bit. What else? Lattimore hid behind the objective, just in case he tried to assassinate her.
The Squire burned up.
Oh yeah, the Squire died in the maintenance phase. Ha! He's not surviving games very well, the Squire. And then the Stormblades did a run charge, and the 2 Storm Gunners were able to put in a couple of shots into the surviving Manticore, but didn't do anything to him. And then, as you can see on the left, 2 of them ran up to engage the Griffin, and 1 just to be annoying for the remaining Manticore. And I scored a point because the right-hand flag was mine. Didn't score the left-hand flag, but so that I felt like I was in a pretty good position at that point. And I think on the attrition side, I killed enough of your guys that it made it very difficult to recover.
Really did. Interestingly, I thought about if I should have used my feet to protect my guys, but which I didn't.
Yeah.
But in the end, we found out that it wouldn't have made a difference because your feet basically cancel mine.
Yes.
Because
I decided not to feat on this turn. You hadn't feated, so I didn't have to neutralise that with my feet. But I also felt like that everything that I needed to do, I could manage without feating.
Yeah.
And that was quite a nice position to be in. I mean, usually the main charge of the game, you would want to use Maddox's feet, but in this case, I saved it, and that meant that I could use it later for when you did use your feet. So your next turn looks like this. Yeah,
I was, like we said, very demotivated and didn't know exactly what to do. But in the end, also thanks to your considering my options, I'd say we rather than I came up with the idea to keep you from scoring this turn.
Yeah.
So I managed to kill the Stormlands directly in base contact with the flag. I believe it was probably due to my both of my heavy rifle teams.
Yeah.
What else? On the left hand, I tried to kill at least 1 or maybe 2 of your Stormclads, but I didn't manage, basically because due to very bad dice rolls.
Yeah, you're pretty unlucky with those 2.
I think I missed out of 5 attacks that I did, I missed 3 or 4, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. You
so
needed 6s, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, to hit, and I didn't manage to do that.
Yeah.
To get that.
So manticores are great because you can boost their strength at the cost of
one
a focus, but they have 2 initial attacks.
Yeah.
So most of the time, jacks who have good melee weapons only get 1 initial attack. So it's effectively he's flexible enough that he could kill lots of infantry, or he could damage a heavy. And then in addition to that, you had an Arcanist power. Was it called Power Up or something?
It's concentrated power.
Concentrated power, which gives him another +2 for damage.
Yeah. So he had a P plus S of 20.
We were expecting at least one of the Stormclads to go down, but it wasn't to be, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I think he took about half of his boxes.
Yeah, I think he hit him only once.
It took away the left arm, so it didn't really affect, and his movement, which didn't really affect his killing power for the next turn, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was really a pity. What else? I think that's basically it. On the right, you can see that the guy who's standing there is Lattimore without a horse, because...
still haven't got my Lattimore model, so he's proxying for her.
Because Iris killed the horse.
Yeah. That's 10 boxes for a horse is insane. I mean, it's too much. And also on the left, one of the Stormblades is missing, so I guess that means your Griffin killed one of him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So at this point, I had to do my turn to finish the round.
But it basically was decided already.
Yeah. So you feated.
Right, yeah.
Which helped to repair some force fields.
Yeah, that's right.
Made your guys a bit more defensive, but so I feated, which negated that. And then the 2 Stormclads just got full focus and bashed the 2 jacks that were in front of them. Some Stormblades were able to charge the Griffin on the left and kill. The Storm Lancers on the middle right-hand side of the board were able to kill the light jack that was standing there, the Chimera. Lattimore failed to hit Iris. Iris is actually, she's defense 16, which is actually pretty decent for avoiding melee attacks.
Yeah.
One of the Stormblades charged your objective but didn't do enough damage. And then the remaining Stormblades just lined up in front of Maddox just in case you wanted to play another turn and try and get the assassination. So I'm up to 3 points at that point, and I've got 2 objectives that you're going to have a problem doing anything about.
Yeah.
So you called it.
So there was no way I could win. So
that
was it.
No reasonable way. So so I'm still very pleased with this list.
It worked very well for you.
I feel like it takes a lot of the models that I enjoy and makes them do their job properly.
Yeah.
So any little problems like mobility or survivability or power, she does a little bit to help them to be able to do each of those. So like I said, I'm going to, once I get the Lattimore model, I'm going to change the list a little bit. Probably drop the Squire because I don't feel like Maddox needs all of her focus anyway.
Yeah.
Because once you're upkeeping and then giving 1 to each of the Stormclads, she's still got 2 or 3 focus left. And the list is both the last games I've played. The Squire's been killed in turn 2, 1 or 2, and it hasn't made any difference to the game. And I'm considering whether the Stormblades are going to stay, because they tend not to have such an impact on the game because of all the other stuff that's happening. But
maybe you need someone for
jamming.
For jamming and for clearing objectives and stuff. And
so I'm considering trenches, but I'm not sure. And the Stormblade Captain's going to go. The Stormlancer's going to get split into 2 groups of 3, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Possibly swap out the Firefly for an Ironclad, maybe. But we'll see. And I think your list is it's an okay list, isn't it?
I will definitely keep it that way. I hope I'll get another Arcanist and another Heavy Rifle Team as the real model soon, and then I don't have to proxy anything anymore.
Yeah, there's a lot of proxying happening in our group.
So that's why... I'm perfectly fine with the list. And I'm only quite... disappointed by myself by putting the Halberdiers the way I did, but that's so the main thing I hopefully learned from this game.
So what we've found is that whatever you put in front of Stormlancers is probably going to die.
Yeah.
So because you wanted to use Shield Wall, which gave them an armor bonus, but actually didn't really help them. That much armor doesn't help them enough,
right?
to justify it. So spreading them out, dropping the armour, but then only losing maybe half of them because of the way you spread them out.
Yeah.
Is probably more effective, specifically against Storm Lancers.
Yeah.
So shooting, I think, is if you get a second turn and they're going to get shot at, then you'll have more survivability with the shield wall.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But apart from that, I mean, there wasn't. I don't think either of us made any like whopping mistakes.
No, I don't think so as well. Yeah.
But that alpha strike with this list is just very hard for. Like the last game against Leon,
Yeah.
he said it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a challenge to work out what to do against that.
Yeah.
And it feels good.
Yeah.
I like
I
it.
can imagine. Yeah.
Cool. Right.
Sweet.
All right. We're looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
And yeah, see you next time.
Next time, see you. Yes.